Well, all right. Welcome, everybody. It's Coach Lois here. It's been a little bit. Happy September. I hope you guys are having an amazing month. I did want to bring forth a monologue episode for the first show of September. If you don't already know this, my show every September, I do a suicide awareness month, mental health awareness theme because I have lost 10 friends to suicide. I've had many friends who've died of addictions, afflictions, as well as my own mother was suicidal. And I had my own journey also with mental health, depression, anxiety, as well as in 2007, I had my own first experience with suicidal thoughts. And so I'm kind of hitting you hard today, right from the get go, because I want to keep this to be a shorter episode of Healthy and Wealthy and Wise. And just bringing awareness. And we have an amazing lineup this month. I have a guest on this Friday, Dr. Christine Sauer, herself has gone through suicide both personally, with her partner, and then her own attempts. I also have Alexander Quinn, who's going to be on next week, kind of a big name in the spiritual realm. He talks about star seeds and galactic channeling and all of these things that are really kind of poo-pooed and kind of weird. But there's a reason for me having him on this month, and you can tune in and learn more about that next Tuesday. And I have more guests coming later this month that you'll be hearing about. So today's topic is, who are you and why are you here? Right? So I know a lot of my friends who struggled with mental health issues, my friends who have committed suicide, and just bringing the topic to awareness here in the Healthy and Wealthy and Wise community. A lot of times people don't think they have a purpose, or they've lost sight of their purpose. And they're like, why am I here? And then something happens where they overdose or they end up killing themselves, right? And a lot of people are, on antidepressants or medications. Again, I'm not anti-medications. It's just a lot of times we look outside ourselves for answers. We look outside of ourselves for solutions. And I'll tell you my own journey, my own mental health journey back in 2007, when I was really struggling. It was because I had a life event. And how many of you guys can relate to this? You had a life event that caused you to question whether you were worthy, whether you were enough, whether you really have a lot of value to give to the world. I'm a sales coach, right? So I work with a lot of people who struggle with that in regards to being seen, being heard, being paid what they're worth. And at that time, I wanted to actually start doing what I'm doing now, but I was so traumatized by my business failure of 2007 when I lost all three businesses to the recession. I was homeless. I lost everything. My car was repossessed. My bank accounts were cleaned out. And what happened for me, now that I can look back 15, 16 years later, is that I ultimately put my self-worth and my value on that meaning that I gave to the failure, to the loss. And I went on a journey after that of abandoning myself and doubting myself and really thinking, gosh, you know what? I screwed up. I failed. Who's going to listen to me? I had a lot of negative friends and family at that time also who didn't seem to believe in me. At least that was my experience that I made up. And a lot of times it is about the meaning that we give to these events that can steal our joy, that can really cause us to lose sight of our uniqueness and our beauty, which is our light that we have shining within us. That is our purpose. That's why people get into sales, I believe, is because they want to help other people. They have a craft, they have an area of expertise, and they want to help others. But what happens if you lose sight of who you are and why you're here? Well, for me personally, and what I've seen for my clients as well, is that when you start doubting yourself, you start looking outside yourself for answers. You start looking outside of yourself for approval from others. And it can cause you to go down a wrong career path. I know it did that for me. I really wanted to be doing what I'm doing now, but I chose the path of least resistance. I chose to be a personal trainer. I chose to be in health and fitness. I chose to be in the MLM industry. Again, none of those were wrong. They were just wrong for me. It wasn't my purpose. Now, those were good stepping stones to get me where I'm at today. But other symptoms or side effects of that was working too much, people pleasing, not having enough rest, being all things to all people. And sure, then you get exhausted. And when you're exhausted, you can't think straight. And when you're exhausted, you might turn to other things like drinking or other numbing mechanisms. There's so many, right? TV, even just scrolling on Facebook, right? Because we're essentially trying to avoid our thoughts. We're trying to avoid going within. And we're so busy out here. So why am I talking about this again? It's Suicide Awareness Month. It's Mental Health Awareness Month here on my podcast and globally. And so I'm asking you, who are you and why are you here? So why am I bringing that up? Well, because about 18 months ago, I asked myself those questions and it was really painful because again, because I had spent the last 15 years looking outside myself for approval, for answers from other people, being told what to do, not trusting myself, not going within truly. And, all of the answers lie within. Finding your truth, it's all lying within you. It's just we have not been taught how to go within. So I had a mentor who told me, and I've been vocal about this many times. He told me to go within, and I was so stuck in my head and seeking approval, people pleasing on the hamster wheel, the autopilot wheel of life, that I personally chose to go down the ayahuasca and psilocybin, the psychedelic plant medicine journey, the healing journey to go within. So that was my path. Now you might find other modalities, you might find other ways. There's many paths to going within. But I will tell you, it took me a while, but it helped me rediscover my truth of who I am and why I'm here. And even though it was at times painstaking and arduous, I don't know if I'd be alive today. I might still be medicating my medications. I might still be looking outside myself for the answers. Well, that doesn't mean you can't have mentors. That doesn't mean you can't have coaches, right? I have mentors and coaches because I do believe that no one succeeds alone, but we also, I believe, oftentimes fail a lot because we're trying to get the answers from other people. We're trying to get approval from other people. And so here's a couple of exercises. I want you to journal, if this resonates with you, of course. Kind of helping awaken your thought process, helping awaken you to connect your head with your heart. Because when I say go within, when I ask who are you and why are you here, it's all about the heart mind. We have 3 brains in our body, not just the brain in our head. The brain in our head actually also is our biggest challenge, right? The monkey mind, the ego, the subconscious. I'm talking about connecting, going within to the superconscious within your heart. Your heart has 40,000 neurons. It's actually been considered, depending on which camp you listen to or talk to, the biggest brain in your body. And when you ever hear the phrase or those love songs, listen to your heart, lead with your heart. I had a podcast last month about heart-centered business. That's the direction that we're heading as a planet, as a society. Now, it may not seem like that because there's still a lot of crazy global events happening. And I do believe that those are happening also for us. I talk to more and more people who are recognizing something is not right here. The way that we have been money driven, consumerism driven, all these wars and all of this keeping up with the Joneses. And a lot of that is out of balance, and people are recognizing it thanks to the pandemic. So the pandemic helped wake me up, and I went inward And through that process of asking, who am I and why I'm here, I have never had more joy. I've never had more bliss. I've never had more peace. And I've never had more abundance. So you can write down those questions. I'm going to just share with you, and I'll talk more about this over the course of the month. But write down the question, who am I and why am I here? And actually see what flows. See what comes out when you put pen to paper. Maybe even voice memo it, and see what happens. Now, if you're stuck and nothing comes out, talk to me. I would love to help you. I have tools. I have free classes coming up. I have a class on September 16th. My next Magnetic Mind public class. You can go to magneticmindsetclass.now.site. And we're actually going to be talking about that topic of who are you and why are you here through the methodology of this next little exercise that I would invite you to do. So after you first write down who am I and why am I here, and maybe that will be too challenging. So the next question is, what is my true nature and purpose? What brings me joy? What is my true nature and purpose? Write this down again. What brings me joy? So what happened was I had gone so far out of my true choice and joy that I wasn't doing and really being and having the things that I truly wanted. I was doing what I thought my family wanted or what society says that we should have. And that got me way out of balance. So by coming back into alignment with my heart, I found, oh my gosh, that's right. I love music. I love singing. I love drumming. I love community, right? I love yoga. I love going and hanging out by the ocean. I love grounding my feet in some dirt, right? So success leaves clues, right? And if you can sit with and journal, who am I and why am I here? And what is my true nature and purpose? What brings me joy? There's gonna come some things that come out of that is gonna impact you. It's gonna get you to think and maybe do something different. Our thoughts sometimes are on autopilot, right? 95% of our experience comes from our subconscious. Well, how do you wake that up? How do you move through that? So journaling is key, maybe voice memoing. And again, if you see value, if there's any way I can help you, please sign up for my Magnetic Mind class on September 16th. All part of helping you come back to your truth. And of course, all about bringing awareness to Suicide Prevention Month and Mental Health Month. All right. If you have any questions and you're inside of my Healthy and Wealthy Minds community, comment below. That's where I answer all my questions. And if you're not inside the Healthy and Wealthy Minds Facebook community, please join in. And if you felt value in today's topic of who are you and why are you here, please hit the share button. And sharing is caring. And of course, I will absolutely be talking more about this over the course of the next month as we focus on this amazing topic of mental health and suicide awareness. So again, here's your best health, your best wealth, and your best wisdom. Bye-bye for now.